Here's a quick, delicious spice mix to make amazing potatoes just like these. So the thing about potatoes is they're actually quite dense, they're quite heavy. Of course, it's like a very simple starch. So what you want with your spices, you want something that cuts through it, but at the same time complements it for the different spices that you add. Now, here we have chili powder, whole cumin, garam masala, coriander powder, and methi. Methi being dried fenugreek seeds. Chili powder is of course simple, adds a bit of heat. Garam masala. Now garam masala provides that level of depth to the curry. You've got whole spices grounded up, you know, cinnamon, star anise, cloves, all this stuff basting to give that level of depth to the potatoes. And then you have that punchiness and also that earthiness that comes from the coriander powder. You know from my previous videos that I'm a huge fan of these two spices. But then we have two of these more special spices that are very good for when you cook potatoes. We have methi, which is called dried fenugreek seeds. Now, you know how much I know, and you know how much Indian chefs are a fan of dried methi. That steroid that bolsters all the spices and at the same time basically bonds everything together. But the secret in this case, in the potatoes, is whole cumin seeds. Now, the thing about whole cumin seeds is, of course, I'm sure you've bitten into potatoes before that haven't been cooked. They just taste like a lot of nothing. Spices help that. But what the whole cumin seeds does is when you add them in, it's a burst of flavor. It gives you so much intense flavor in one go because of the whole cumin seeds. So when you bite into a potato that's already spiced and then has cumin seeds in it, those little pockets of spice that the cumin seed attaches itself to the potato gives a burst of flavor, really explodes in your mouth, and it's such a nice thing to have. The last thing, in addition to salt and pepper paste and ginger garlic paste, is a little bit of tomato paste. Now the thing about tomato paste is, of course, number one, it's acidity. So it provides that level of other element of taste to the potatoes. But forget that. The biggest thing it does is, I'm sure if you ever tried to cook potatoes, it goes to mash very quickly. It just mushes up. When you cook potatoes in a pan with oil and you add in that tomato paste acts like a gel. It acts like a gel that coats the potato, and then you can get very whole cooked potatoes like this that don't turn into mash very quickly and keep their texture, where it's slightly crispy on the outside but very moorish and crumbly on the inside. So the next time you try and cook, use these spices, salt and pepper it, ginger garlic, try tomato paste, and you will be pleasantly surprised.